When the dealership called me to collect my 1299, they asked if I wanted the passenger seat and foot pegs put on. Absolutely not. Periodically, I'll see someone in the forum looking for advice installing the passenger seat and foot pegs, so I figured I'd run through it myself to see if there are any tips or tricks. As always, let's take a look at the hardware and tools involved. The obvious ones are the passenger seat and foot pegs themselves. You should also have 2 black passenger seat rails, 2 6mm cap screws, and 2 5mm cap screws. The required tools for the job include your key, as well as a 3, 5, and 6mm Allen wrench. Tools that I found make the job a bit easier but aren't required are a mirror, something to pry with, and something that'll give you leverage on a 6mm hex. I used a 3/8 inch socket, a small extension, and a 6mm hex. First, get your key and insert it into the keyhole above the rear tire. Turn it to release the seat cowl and remove it. Inside that compartment, you'll find 2 screws on each trim piece. Spin those out with a 3mm hex, then gently pull it back to reveal one more super secret screw. Make sure you don't swallow these 6 screws because you're about to use them to secure the black passenger seat rails to the same holes. At this point, you can stick the passenger seat on, but make sure the 3 tabs find their way into the respective holes. It's a snug fit, so listen for the lock to click. Next, grab the 6mm hex of your choice and get at the cap screws that are under the exhaust loop inside the heat shield. This is where the mirror comes in handy. These screws are kind of at a weird angle, so make sure your hex key is seated before giving them the business. I tried turning one that I thought I had, and it felt pretty soft and strippable. Also, heed my warning, dropping anything from this location will result in them slipping down into the depths of hell, never to be seen again. Once those screws are out, carefully remove the metal spacers from above the heat shield and replace them with the passenger foot pegs. These are a little thick, so I used a screwdriver to persuade the heat shield to cooperate. When each side is in, use 5mm screws to secure each foot peg together, then run a 6mm screw into each. When those are in, run 2 more 6mm screws in under the heat shield. And that's it, you did it! As always, thanks for watching. If this happens to be the first video of mine that you've seen, be sure to browse the rest of my channel and consider subscribing, where the bulk of my content revolves around the 1299. Until next time, don't drop anything under the rear fender.
Yeah.